and CEO of the Jewish News Syndicate. Alex, welcome as always. Talk first about historically U.S. policy when it comes to regime change in Iran.
Well, obviously, U.S. policy has been to allow this regime to stay in place. Most notably, in 2009, there was an opportunity after the murder of Neda Aga Sultan. You saw the Green Revolution, and President Obama chose to stick behind the current regime when there was a chance to overthrow them. Obviously, going back further, Jimmy Carter pulled out the rug under the Shah, which led to the Islamic Revolution in 1978, 1979. And here we're seeing that the president of the United States, not specifically targeting regime change, but if this regime will not come to the negotiating table and agree to never pursue nuclear weapons and agree not to be pursuing the building of ballistic missiles, then it looks like, as far as the president's concerned, regime change could be a real option.
What about Israel? This is something that Netanyahu says could be a consequence of recent developments.
Well, we saw the defense minister earlier this week specifically talk about ending Khamenei's life. The prime minister's talked about three war goals. One is to end the nuclear program. Two is to end the ballistic missile threat, which Israel also considers to be existential. And the third is to diminish Iran's terror proxies around the region that have created this ring of fire around Israel. But all three of these have a singular thread. That's the regime. There's no chicken and egg here. There's no question of what came first. It's the regime. And while I think the prime minister would be satisfied if he met those three goals and the regime had to stay in place, I do believe that ultimately, if Iran does not quickly come to its senses, that regime change is going to be inevitable.
Iran's regional influence, has it been weakened? Hezbollah's losses in Lebanon, Syria's pivot away from the Iranian interests, proxy groups like some of the ones you mentioned, and how might that impact the trajectory of their next decision?
Well, Iran always thought that Hezbollah and the other terror proxies would be the deterrent against a strike on Iran by Israel or the United States. And we saw through Israel's systematic and methodical filing down of these terror proxies, first Hamas in Gaza, then Hezbollah, the U.S. strikes at over 1,000 targets in Yemen against the Houthis have left Iran defenseless, and it left Iran vulnerable to this Israeli attack. So, Iran does not have any more of its regional strategy. And now we're seeing that they're even losing the ballistic missiles, which they have to target Israel directly.
Alex Traiman, thank you as always for your perspective. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, Marni.
All right, you're looking